Hey, what's up everybody? This is Ultimate Shanatish from Ultimate Game Reviews. Finally getting an HD webcam which for some reason is recording at 10 frame rate of 10 FPS. Okay. So I've decided that I'm gonna go with with the professional sort of reviews, and I'm not gonna be like the game showcases will be different. And what I think about the games, I'll just talk about them like I'm talking right now, because I believe that when you're showcasing games, there's no reason for a person to talk about them while they're playing. I want my users to actually concentrate on what how the game plays and how they can form an opinion about how the game is after looking at the gameplay. What I can tell you, of course, when I'll be reviewing games, is whether or not I like them or not, and what I think about the games. That's what I'm gonna basically talk about. All right, so right now the game I want to talk about is actually Rise of the Tomb Raider. I'm gonna be talking about Rise of the Tomb Raider, which I'm surprised is actually a pretty unoptimized game. Now, of course, I don't have a very powerful rig. I still am playing just above the bare minimum requirements, but uh, there's not a lot of options in the options menu which allow for massive customization or something specifically that can actually help you get better frame rates. So that's the first thing I want to talk about. The super sample anti-aliasing is probably the only option that tanks the frame rates. Other than that, you've got tessellation, you've got sunsoft shadows, you've got pure hair, you've got HBAO plus. These kind of options which are going to affect your frame rate, but turning them off and gaming at 720p's on my rig, which is of course I've got a 7850. It should have got me 60 FPS, because I know games that are probably that look they look better than Rise of Tomb Raider, but still um, they're not as demanding as Rise of Tomb Raider is. Of course, people will say that the character models and everything in the game is very pretty. I do agree it's very pretty, but good developers can make very pretty looking games be very optimized. People can do that. I mean, look at the new Doom. You can look at Battlefield 4. We'll say Battlefield 4 is an old game, but still, it is one of the best looking games out of the market even today. Excuse me. Battlefield 4 is one of the most best looking games in the market. Okay. So other than that, Rise of Tomb Raider is again that over the top movie style or make believe style sort of a game. I don't know how to describe it, but let's just say this game is full of action sequences, not exactly the action that you'd find in the classic Tomb Raiders. In the classic Tomb Raider games, it's all about puzzle solving and just taking your dual pistols out and just like killing anything that you see. That was basically what the old Tomb Raiders were about. This Tomb Raider is more of Lara Croft escaping these weird situations like cliffs falling or I don't know explosions, and like escaping near death situations like that wouldn't really be possible if you even consider this game a game which is supposed to be realistic. Well, this game is not realistic at all. In fact, there's a lot of movie shit going on. Like, there are a lot of sequences where you'll be saying, like, she should have died right now, but that doesn't really happen. And as far as being a Tomb Raider game is concerned, yes, there is a lot of exploration involved. There's a lot of exploration that is really that you can do, but it's not like the exploration of the old games, the classic games in which you were going to go and find some secrets. You see, there are secrets in this game. There are secret tombs, optional challenge tombs, and yeah, there are secrets like that. Like in the previous game, in the Tomb Raider reboot, they had GPS caches, or whatever they're called, GPS caches. Um, those were the secrets of the game. I mean, there were many more secrets I've forgotten. It's been a while since I played the game, but there were like secrets in that game. There are secrets in this game too, but not really something you'd go here and there and try to explore. I mean, there's you can get coins, you can get documents, but they're just to further, I don't know, give you a background on what's actually happening in the world. Those pieces, those documents, and audio tapes and everything that you find, they're not really something that you'd want to, you'd think is part of the actual exploration that was in the classic Tomb Raider games. In the classic Tomb Raider games, there wasn't any information given to you. You were just given an objective. Like I remember Tomb Raider 2, and when I started it, uh, I remember that there was this. I have to get this dagger of Zion, okay, and it was the Great Wall of China level. Now in there you had traps, you had everything, but it was like over there in the classic Tomb Raiders, you actually had to time your moves. You had to do a lot of things in order to get through a location which is filled with traps and everything. In this game, you just have to run as fast as you can and just jump while things just start falling. The ground starts falling. There are things falling from the roofs and everything. Things falling on you. You just have to dodge them and get away. It's nothing like the old Tomb Raiders. But being this an actual game, like if this is a game like I consider this a new game and just forget about the classic Tomb Raiders, I'd say that I mean, if you've got games like Mad Max, or you've got games like Doom, you've got games like it's really, I mean, there's so many games in my mind right now. GTA 5, you can even uh, place GTA 5 in the mix. Of course, they're very different. Rise of Tomb Raider and GTA 5 are pretty different. But what I want to talk about is combat. You see, Rise of Tomb Raider does have a good combat system. There's no doubt about that. But is there enough combat in the game? No, that's the problem. Like some of the guns, like the first assault rifle that you get, they really don't have that feel, of an assault rifle that you have in most other games, which I play personally. Like I used to play Tom Clancy's Ghost Recon Phantoms, or even if you look at Tom Clancy's The Division, and those games have got like serious amount of kick in the game. Like when you shoot, you can actually feel like there's this gun that is to hold it back. This kind of thing is not there in Tomb Raider. Like all the guns feel very arcadish and floaty. That's the best way I can put it. Like they're just like they've got this spread and everything. Secondly, there's a huge flaw in this game that the Lara Croft or the game, it cannot detect, it cannot swap shoulders intelligently. So even if you're hiding behind a cover, like if you're hiding behind a cover in which you have to peek from right to left, it's not gonna do that because it'll always assume that you're actually when you're behind cover, it's from left to right all the time. Like the shoulder is always on her right rather than on the left, because sometimes it's wise to put the shoulder on the left side, but that doesn't happen in this game. Or probably it does, and I'm making a mistake, but I've had a lot of problems with this. And other than that, I mean, the combat isn't very challenging. Like they've included the stealth system, this new stealth thing that you can do stealth kills and everything. You could do that in the previous game, but this time it's more effective. Like they have actually improved the stealth model. Now you can, like, even from the water, you can take down enemies that are on the surface from underneath from underwater. Like underwater, you can just jump up and you can pull enemies down into the water and drown them to death. Basically, that's a neat addition. You've got poison arrows. You've got different ammo types. Good additions, but probably the problem is that there's not a lot of combat. So I mean, you've got this extra ammunition. You've got these these poison arrows and everything. You've got a lot of good features in this game, which definitely you're not going to use. Most of these things are not going to be used in the game because there's really no serious combat in this game. In the previous Tomb Raider, there was combat, and it was good. It was balanced between exploration, between objectives, exploration, and combat were neatly balanced. In this game, it's a little bit. I mean, everything. I can say that it's very close to the classic Tomb Raiders in this manner that you have to go and explore, but exploration is again it gets boring after some time. And the only reason why I still play Rise of the Tomb Raider is because yes, that is true that the graphics are pretty good, but I've used a tuner server to actually cap this game to 30 FPS because the frame drops are just incredible. Like you're running at 60 and immediately the game drops to like 35. The fluctuation is pretty bad. So I really think that the developers could have optimized the game better. And I've heard that Nexus I think is the brain is sorry are the people behind the PC port. They usually do good PC ports, that's what I've heard, but this time are probably I don't know, probably the game is so demanding that probably the game is very demanding, but then again I can run Witcher 3, I can run Mad Max, I can run Battlefield 4, I can run these games which said that they require 70s, but I can still run them at 60 FPS. So running this game at 720p should have got me 60 FPS. Other than the combat, we can talk about characters. Boring. Lara Croft, of course, is pretty cool even in this game because of the voice acting of Camellia Lungington. I don't remember the name of the voice actor who actually voice acted for Lara Croft in this game. Her name is, I think, Camilla Lungington. She has done a good job, like bringing Lara Croft to life in this video game. It's pretty cool. Like Lara Croft's voice acting is great. The facial animations are good. Sometimes a little too much. Like sometimes you can see that the lips are not really. They don't look nice sometimes. Like I remember the scene where Lara Croft was like, she said, "What are you doing here?" So she was like, "What are you doing here?" Like this. So it's here. Like that looked pretty weird. But it looked ugly. Sometimes the facial animations do glitch or they look ugly sometimes. I don't think they glitch, they just look ugly. Other than that, like Lara Croft is still like some of the you'll see that the story sometimes it's really not very solid. There are a lot of mistakes that the writers made. There are a lot of things that they could have corrected, I think, but yeah, they made a few mistakes. There are certain points in the game where you'd be like, why haven't they killed Lara Croft yet, or why are they keeping her alive? Like that's a little weird because if if I was them, I would have killed Lara Croft like hours back. They keep her alive. It makes no sense, and there are many things that you'll find in this game which are, well, hard to believe. Let's just put it that way. So overall, I think it's a good game. I mean, it's a good Lara Croft game. It's a good Tomb Raider game. I wouldn't say it's a. No, sorry, I'll take it back. It's not a good Tomb Raider game. It's not. It's a reboot of Tomb Raider, which means that it doesn't have the classic Tomb Raider elements that I'm used to. However, if you're looking, because most gamers are probably do not know, if you haven't played Lara Croft in the 90s, you probably don't know what Lara Croft is. So, considering that Lara Croft is, this is a good Lara Croft game. That's what I'll say. it's not a very good Tomb Raider game. Now that's very weird that I'm saying that's it's quite weird that I'm saying that's a good Lara Croft game but not a good Tomb Raider game, because Tomb Raider is Lara Croft. Well, I'd say that I'd put it this way: the character Lara Croft is being used in this game under the Tomb Raider brand, but it's not really a good, not really like the old Tomb Raiders. It's a pretty new Tomb Raider, and yeah, some people will like it, some people won't. So I like it, not much, but I play it because of the good graphics, good time pass, good voice acting. Uh, I don't know, going and challenging myself to find these tombs. Again, I have more fun playing Doom. I'm more fun playing Battlefield 4. I had more fun because I don't play Battlefield 4 anymore. Mad Max. I mean, I play a lot of Mad Max. I mean, that game is very, very good. So, yeah, these kind of things I like to address. So I not like to address, but I'd just like to. I mean, this is what I know about the video game. So this is what I think about the video game. So if you guys like it, let me know what you guys liked about this video. What you didn't like, let me know. Because suggestions will help me improve this channel, and hopefully get you better reviews and what I think about video games. Take care.